Well, you're listening to myself, Pádraig Kilferty, and co-commentary with me today is Brendan Devaney. Brendan, I suppose first of all, Brendan, you're very welcome to O'Donnell Park, and you were here last week as well. This game took a life of its own in the second half, and no doubt it's going to happen like that today as well.
Yeah, but sometimes you're in a game and you think you've seen it all in football. You know, obviously Dungloe, brilliant performance over the course of the game, deserved to win the match, but somebody from 7 up found themselves 3 points down with 4 minutes to go. A crazy 6-minute spell where they conceded 3 goals. It was a mad match. Chatting to Cloughaneely people all week, you know, the passionate support that they have, they say they'll never play as bad again. If you're judging it on last week, Dungloe should win the game, but listen, that was last week, this is this week, and I think Cloughaneely will improve a lot as a team, but they're going to have to prove a lot over the 70 minutes to match this Dungloe team, because they were brilliant last week, and even when they went those 3 points down, they never give up, and I suppose that's the heart that they'll take into this. So both coming in with a big backstory and an interesting counter in store.
Yeah, well, just looking at today's changes as well. Cloughaneely have made 2. Kieran McGee is out for Darren Ferry, and John Fitzgerald's in as well. John, of course, who came on, was a massive impact yesterday, but here comes McGeever. There was a question around his fitness there coming into this particular game. Darren McGeever, the big midfielder, he scored the first point in 30 seconds last weekend for Cloughaneely. It hasn't materialised this time. Brendan, before we start to get into everything, last night was, of course, the Davy ball, and it was a fantastic occasion. Everyone was looking forward to it, and a brilliant night, and just like to congratulate you on such a successful night.
Thanks for it. It was a brilliant night, surely. I was just back in the hotel with Terry and Anthony Malloy, and of course Mick McGrath, our chairman. He kept me a bit late there, the man, the myth, the moustache himself. So listen, phenomenal night. We had 3:30 in there, probably raising some great money for Cancer Care West, Focus Ireland and Plan. So listen, we did it and had a great night with it. Tyrone lads was down, the Dr. Maguire was there, of course the Sam Maguire was there, Kieran O'Donnell was winking at me, he was in the background helping out, of course, as ever. So listen, a brilliant night, and listen, I'm still in a bit of a high, and so just so humbled by all the response of the people. So thanks to everyone who got involved.
A brilliant event by Brendan, and some fantastic charities there as well. But it's all about today. Dungloe taking on Cloughaneely, of course. It's a minute and 30 seconds into today's game. There is no score as of yet, and well, coming into this game, Brendan, suppose you touched on it there. Dungloe, suppose, will be disappointed to possibly had that game won last week, but as we've indicated, that game really took a life of its own in the last quarter.
Yeah, definitely. You just mentioned McGee there. He scored a point in the first minute last week. He was going forward there again, and Cloughaneely didn't score another point for playing the game. You know, what I'm talking about, looking at games and thinking like you've seen it off. You would have said to me at that point that Cloughaneely won't score another point from play. That's the kind of crazy game it was. Yet they came back from the dead to the lead. So I think both teams go into this game still thinking they have a huge chance of winning the match. As I say, Cloughaneely thinking if we can play for longer than that 15-minute spell, that they have a chance. Whereas Dungloe will think if we just do what we did last week, it should be enough to win it and cut out the goals.
Just looking at, suppose, Cloughaneely coming into this game, Dungloe coming into this game. Dungloe, suppose it's been dubbed, they're a little bit younger, but anyway, here comes an opportunity for Cloughaneely. It was Kieran McFadden who's kicked that one up. Gary Owen style has gone out to the right and wide, but before my point was, Brendan, Cloughaneely probably dealt with the week better than Dungloe maybe. Dungloe, suppose, a couple of decisions they wouldn't have been happy about. Cloughaneely would have thought we have another chance here, lads. Let's get at it.
Yeah, certainly. You know, it's that thing I think going down the intermediate. Obviously, the backstory of Cloughaneely on the verge of losing 3 finals in a row. That's been put to bed. That's huge pressure. You know, they drew last week, so there's no 3 finals in a row. That's not hanging over them. So maybe that's lifted a bit of pressure. Because I remember even at Union's, there was a stage we went into a 3rd final, having lost 2, and the pressure was massive. So that pressure's off Cloughaneely today.
Here comes Darren McGeever. He has possession. Was he pulled back? He was. Seamus McGonigal, who's in here for his 4th intermediate final, has signalled it's going to be a free just outside the edge of the D, in a very kickable position for Jason McGee as well, and they need a big performance of Jason today. Cloughaneely do. Suppose if we're being critical of Jason, he went missing in the second half. Right towards the last 15 minutes he really came into the game then, so Cloughaneely really need him to perform big today.
Yeah, and you know, the funny things you hear then, listen, I think he had a virus last week coming into the game, and people were saying he was in bed a few days before, wasn't feeling well, so he should be back to full energy today. And yeah, they need a big 60 minutes from him.
Here comes Jason. That looks good from here. That's beautiful from Jason, and that's his first point. for Cloughaneely, and the first point of the game is Jason McGee from a free. Scored 3 last week, and it's so important, as you indicated, Brennan. Suppose frees are one thing, but you need scores of any kind of sort. Cloughaneely didn't materialise enough last week.
Yeah, you can see already that they know that they didn't play well. They've come out with much more purpose. I think they've said, listen, we can't leave it till we're 7 points down to start to play. We've got to play from the off. So they've certainly started this game on the front foot, Brian. And looking at McGee there, you look at free takers around the county. People there, I've seen McGee do that a few times before. He's got that in his locker, and as you said, he is the key man for Cloughaneely here today.
He definitely is. Here's Gerard Walsh doing what he did last week, wearing number 15, but sitting in at number 6, nearly playing as a quarterback, I think it is. That's the new terminology in the GAA. But anyway, good interception there by McGee, but the ball fell down to Conor O'Donnell. He's got the ball out, and it looks like, well, it's still bobbling away, but it's Cloughaneely looking the hunger side in the first opening 5 minutes or so. It's that man, the captain, Mark Harley, who battled really, really hard last week for Cloughaneely. Now they're taking it free very quickly. Leo O'Brien has time on possession, lifts the head and goes past the halfway line, looks up. The long ball inside is not on. Blake McGarvey made the run, but he just had to come back with possession, and they just did that. Mark Harley has it crossing the 45, just outside the edge of the D, coming in on the right foot. That looks good from there. Here, Brendan, if any, that is a great score and a point that you've been happy with yourself.
Yeah, listen, Harley, that's what you got to do. Dungloe getting back in numbers. Harley came across the 45 there, left hand side. He stepped on his man. He took on the opportunity. Dungloe were closing. He was about 5 yards the far side of the D, and listen, great score, curled that over the bar. Listen, as I say, brilliant start. Definitely Cloughaneely are saying after last week, we've got to start this game on the front foot. We let Dungloe dictate the game. That's not going to happen again, and that is the message is coming from them in these early stages, leading 2-0.
2 points to 0, and 5 minutes on the clock live here on Highland Radio Saturday Sport, and on as well we have possession here with it's Sean McGee. It's actually Christy Green, I should say, who had possession, but now the opportunity for Derek Gallagher. He's just gone into a number of Cloughaneely jerseys there. It's going to be a free in for Dungloe, and it's Ryan Connors who's coming over to kick this one. I think it's just outside the 45 a little bit. Seamus has advised him to go back, but up comes Danny Rogers, who scored 3 points last week, and it took him a couple of opportunities to find his range, but when he did, Brennan.
Yeah, you're on about freeze there. Having a goalkeeper come out. Listen, most players can't kick the ball from the range that he's at now. He's about 52 metres from the goal. It's a massive kick, but keepers, of course, what the kicker can do it, but not everybody can get it accurate. So as you say, it can be a bit hit and miss with some keepers. So this is a big kick for Rogers. And as well as that point, Dungloe, even in these early stages, they need a settling point, and now there's been a bit of back check.
Yeah, Darren McGee were having a conversation with Danny, no doubt, when he was hitting that free. Just about to hit it, and well, it is of course Rogers, who's just outside the edge of the D. Here comes Rogers, kicks this one high, looks good from here, and just interestingly, Brendan, there's no real breeze here today like there was last week, so it's not really. It was benefiting Cloughaneely last week in the first half, I think. Yeah,
it was blustery, but you know what you got early on here. The stand here at the park suits it. You go to other grounds, and even McCool Park, you've got some on the stand side, some over in the terrace. They're all the stand here. The stand's rocking like it was last week. A set up to really affect the players and affect the game.
Yeah, well, as you heard, the Dungloe voices went up, and they had another opportunity, but Cloughaneely has dealt really well with it there. It's going to be a free out for Cloughaneely, and they've taken that really quickly. It's gone out to Leo O'Brien, who has a full field in front of him. O'Brien has possession, happy to hold it, waiting for a little bit of movement from McGeever. McGeever gets it now. The on-running Kieran McFadden demands possession, gets it, and he's a fast bit of stuff as McFadden still has possession, crossing the 45, looks up for a little bit of movement. Out comes Jason McGee looking forward, and he just looks a wee bit better, moving a bit better this week. McGee, that's good for McGee, has an opportunity just outside and kicks this one out to the left and wide. Does it go through the bar? Great score. Great score by Jason McGee. That is a fantastic score, Brendan.
McGee has some talent. Listen, he's one of those players where we're looking from a county point of view. We need him at midfield. We need him doing what he done there. That looked impossible. But you were calling it wide because it didn't look at his play. He was almost on the end line, right hand side, on his right foot. He went through 3 tackles, and he hit that shot, and you were thinking it was going to tail wide. He must have hit the width of the ball just to get it through those posts. Phenomenal score from him. And early doors here, definitely Falcara Cloughaneely are asking all the questions of Dungloe. They're not going to have it all their own way this week, and this is really putting it up to Dungloe early stages with 3-1 lead.
But suppose we've seen Jason, we know it's in his locker. We've seen him doing it all, throughout his career so far. But that little bit of drive and that opportunity there, Brennan, I suppose why he's so good. But anyway, we're going to stay with play. 4 points to 1 in favour of Cloughaneely. And asking all the questions of Dungloe currently, it's Sean McGee who has possession for Dungloe. Long ball over the top, route one looking for Boner. And Lee O'Brien is back there. But the ball is on the ground, and Cloughaneely have done really well. Suppose if anything, Lindsay has learned from last week. They gave Oisín Boner a lot of space last week, Brendan, and suppose they've curtailed that this week.
Yeah, listen, it's a huge dynamic word about friendlies, about replays, and how you change your focus on what you're doing. And what Dungloe think they done a lot of things right last week outside that crazy 6-minute spell when they conceded 3 goals. Cloughaneely had a massive bit of work to do. How do we counteract everything that Dungloe did right? And they have counteracted it so far. They're tightened up at the back, and they're coming with a lot of pace and energy into this game. And at the minute, they are the team on the front foot, and Dungloe are struggling to keep with them. And it was the opposite last week, and that's what it is about replays.
Yeah, good bit of work there by the Dungloe defence. Gerald Walsh back there showing his credentials as a defender, and it's a free going back to Danny Rogers. Back to Walsh once again. 3 points to 1. Apologies, I think I said 4 points to 1 there, but it's 3 points to 1. 10 minutes on the clock here, and it's Dungloe who has possession. Matthew Ward, who was influential last weekend, had a really good game as well. Has got possession back, and looking for a little bit of movement from Darren Kern. We spoke about the Kerns last week as well, Brendan. Very influential from a Dungloe point of view.
Yeah, they really controlled the game at times, and that's something that Cloughaneely looked to nullify.
Beautiful little ball over the top for Ryan Connors, just didn't work out there. Good bit of work by the captain Mark Harley from Cloughaneely. It was a lovely dink ball over the top from Oisín Boner, looking from Ryan O'Connor. It was a good idea, Brendan, but didn't work out.
Yeah, you're just looking at the press here of Dungloe. Dungloe are pressing right up the pitch. They're happy to have a go, and energy is all over it. But fairness to Cloughaneely, they're cool in the ball, and particularly with Jason McGee and McGeever in midfield, they have a massive platform of physicality, and they're really asking the questions early on, and Dungloe are struggling to get a foothold in this game.
John Fitzgerald was trying to get possession there, but it didn't really work out for him. He pulled the jersey back of the defender, but anyway, it's a free for Dungloe, taken quickly down. Sweeney out on the right hand side here, just on the stand side in O'Donnell Park. Conditions absolutely perfect. Fancies his chances to go past the tackle of Paul Sweeney. Still has possession, looks for the little bit of movement from Oisín Boner. Boner, of course, kicked 3 points last weekend, still has it. Has got a number of Cloughaneely jerseys around him, and Cloughaneely and Lynch will be the manager Michael Lynch will be happy with that, Brendan, because they're attacking in numbers and really not giving Dungloe the time on the ball.
Yeah, as you said, Oisín Boner, the main man inside the platform of Dungloe, attacked 3 Cloughaneely players around him. So different from last week. He was isolated 1-on-1, causing all sorts of problems. This week, that's not happening.
Beautiful little ball over the top. Opportunity here for Cloughaneely. Shot comes in, and it was well blocked down there, but it was Aidan Doohan, Brendan.
Yeah, Doohan coming on. Listen, quick movement from Falcara. They put the ball inside. Doohan coming on a tight angle, and there was a Dungloe hand just got the ball. It's actually gone out for a 45. But just what I was saying there about Boner and replays and how you come down. They've obviously watched the videos all week. The Falcara management team have been saying here, what have we done right? How do we put the pressure on their main men? And there's no doubt Boner is a classy footballer. You just seen it there, Rock. The ball went down around the D. He got the ball. He was looking to get a shot away. 3 Cloughaneely players around him, forced a turnover up the pitch, and now we have McGee with a 45 for a chance for another score.
Yeah, definitely. It's another opportunity for Jason McGee. He scored 2 already in this intermediate final. 13 minutes on the clock. He's 45 yards out. He has no real wind at his back or in front of him, it has to be said. Calm day here in Letterkenny. Here comes the kick from McGee. Right. Kicks this one high. That is beautiful from Jason McGee. Another point from the big midfielder, Brennan.
Yeah, what a player. You just seen McGee at his best last week, and I know what you're saying. He didn't play for the 70 minutes last week. He's in the game, but as I say, speaking to people from Falcara, he wasn't well. This is the real McGee you're seeing. He is the main man out there today. And listen, if you can get a person to kick 45s to get over the bar, that is such an armoury to have. That's such an excellent addition to have to the team. And now at the minute, I say Falcara already in that 4-1 lead, and Dungloe not looking at all like they did last week. You know, people are talking about they gave a brilliant performance over the 70 minutes, and they did. They're not being let play here today, and they got to respond to this Falcara aggression and intensity out there.
Yeah, it's Dungloe who have possession once again from Mark Curran. Curran goes into the tackle against Mark Harley. It's going to be free for Dungloe, and even the intensity from Cloughaneely today, they're going after every ball, Brendan, with pure intense. And suppose maybe they looked at that performance last week and maybe thought we didn't go at that enough, but they are today, definitely, with just over 14 minutes gone in this first half. It's 4 points for Cloughaneely, a point for Dungloe, and well, it is Cloughaneely who have possession the far side with the unrunning Aidan Doohan, who's done really well, has got a free for Cloughaneely. It's taken quickly by McGee. Back it goes once again to O'Brien, and well, Cloughaneely happy to hold possession, and Dungloe need to get their hands on the ball, Brendan.
Yeah, just looking at Doohan when he went down there, Park, the flow of all the Cloughaneely team is do it quick. He hopped up, he threw the ball across for the free, and go quick. You look at every player when he gets the ball, he's coming with purpose. It's a real different Cloughaneely team we're seeing here, and as I say, Dungloe, I think they're a bit rock back in their heels. That is the danger of going into a replay when you've played well the first day. The team who hasn't played well has so much ground to make up, so it's set up for a cracker now, but as yet,
great bit of run by Mark Harley. Just give away possession towards, just maybe overthought it, Brendan, but as you were indicating there, yeah, Cloughaneely doing things a lot quicker this Saturday.
Yeah, and as I say, Dungloe still to get to the pitch of the game. Cloughaneely are full value for that 4-1 lead point. They're playing some fantastic football out there. And as I say, maybe that pressure, you know, as I say, just thinking back, because I was unexperienced myself of losing 2 finals in the third final, the pressure was unbelievable. We managed to get across the line that day, but I'm just thinking maybe that now is off their back, and they can come and play their best here, and they are playing brilliant so far.
Yeah, it's Dungloe have possession through corners. He's done a real good run from deep, has possession once again, trying to look for Oisín Boner, and well, there's a number of blue jerseys around him, and the ball is on the ground once again, and it's going to be a free in. He's up at it very quickly. Now he takes a returning pass. It goes inside to the half forward. It's Barry Kern. Barry scored 2 points in the drawn game. That looks like it's going. Oh, it's good. Yeah, well, it looked like it was going over the bar, but Sean McClafferty had to be very careful there.
Yeah, it was interesting. It was a free kick just outside the 45, and it was definitely in the range of Danny Rogers. They took it short, but it went over the bar. It might have been the right decision. Barry Kern there just dropping it short on the keeper's hands. Yeah,
it's still only a 4-1 game here, so you know they're a long way to go at the minute. And well, here comes McGee. McGee has possession, has got it back out. It's gone to Paul Swinney. Swinney gives it now inside to Jason McGee once again. Lovely ball inside for Blake McGarvey. McGarvey is taking on his marker. This is good from McGarvey. Opportunity here. Flicks it high and flicks it over the bar. Good score by young Blake.
That's old corner forward play there, Mark. You don't see that too often now. Straight ball into young Blake here. He turned his man, came in at a tight angle, took the right decision, fisted over the bar. Probably the blanket defence and everything happened. You don't see that too often now. Skinned his man, put the ball over the bar. Great score. And there was a shot off the ball. There's a Dungloe man after going down here. Park. You see that Seamus McGowan and his officials see that because he's still down the ground here. The ref's coming over to see what happened, and it'll be interesting now because there was definitely a strike there.
To be fair, Brendan, I didn't actually see it, but Seamus McGowan is going to have a little word with his linesman here currently on this side, and well, it looks like the young Dungloe man is, you know, he's felt the aftermath there. So Seamus is going to have a conversation with both of the sideline referees, and
Martin calls over there. Listen, if that was seen, there must have been a strike there. There could be a Cloughaneely man in trouble. He's back to his feet there now. He definitely got a shot.
Yeah, it's nothing of it, to be fair. So I didn't see it, Brendan. So it's still 5 points to 1 in favour of Cloughaneely, and suppose there's a pep in their step. Dungloe 4 points down. They're going to have to try and get into this game. They need to get key men like Matthew Ward on the ball. They also need to get Oisín Boner on the ball a wee bit more. And suppose, you know, the Currans haven't had the same effect they had last weekend, Brendan.
Yeah, it goes back to that homework, and I suppose, and we've heard it all week, as I say, chatting to people from Cloughaneely, they're saying that they'll never play that badly again. They have come out and they have really asked questions. Now, it's early on in the game, there's loads of time for Dungloe but that water break was very important. The management must have put something in them and say, here lads, we got to start to play. They've upped the game, we need to up our game. It's up to Dungloe to respond.
Here comes Dungloe now with possession. It's Christy Green down in the far right hand side here. He's met the shoulder of cornerback Noel Sweeney, and it's going to be a free for Dungloe and for Ryan Connors. It looks like it's basically on the end line here. It's not really an opportunity you would fancy unless you were Morris Fitzgerald. It's about a foot or two in from the end line. But a yellow card for that particular shoulder from Noel Sweeney. And well, Ryan Connors has possession. He's waiting for movement. It looks like he's going to go short. He does indeed. He goes short inside to Sean McGee. McGee has possession, but once again Cloughaneely fighting really hard to get possession back, and well, they've turned that one over, Brendan.
Yeah, listen, I don't think you have to go to Kerry to find a man who can kick that. I think go out the road a couple of miles there, and there's a wee Murphy man I've seen kick from that range many's a time. Park, he was there last night as well. He's top man. That'll be within his range.
Well, he did it against Derry in the championship a number of years ago. I was there that particular day, and
what a score.
It was 2014, I think it was, if memory serves me correct. But anyway, it's all about Cloughaneely and Dungloe today. And well, if you've just joined us, you're very welcome to Highland Radio's Saturday Sport. It's 5 points for Cloughaneely. It's a point for Dungloe. The story of the game so far is well, Cloughaneely have come and really upped their performance from last week. They dominate possession in the first opening half. There's 18 minutes gone in the first half, and here comes an opportunity here for Kieran McGee. He has been met with a shoulder, I think it was there, and it's going to be a free in. Was it a wee bit dubious, that free, was it?
No, McGee was cute there. Listen, he played him. It was a rash tackle by Dungloe. He just passed the 45, the arms came on his back, and listen, he went down for it. But no, it was a free, he pushed him. It was a silly tackle. I think it was Danny Kern that put his hands across him there. Or maybe it was Sweeney actually come back there.
Still Sweeney, yep.
Yeah, you got to get goal side and make it difficult for the man. You left it very easy for Seamus McGonigal to call that free, and another chance for McGee to extend Falcara's lead.
Here comes Jason out on the left hand side. He's just over 40 yards out, you could say, coming on the right boot. Looks good from here. He's kicked this one really well. That is beautiful from Jason McGee. And well, another point for the big midfielder. That's 4 points for Jason McGee.
Yeah, he's on his game today, and listen, this is the big swing factor in this game. It's the quality of McGee out there. You look around the pitch, he's head and shoulders above anybody else out there. From play and from frees, he's dictating so much. And listen, Dungloe need to get a grip of him and not give away easy frees, because today, in the form that McGee's in, anything 45 and in, he's going to pop over the bar. Sweet strike there that time from about 40 yards, curled over the bar. Expert stuff.
Yeah, and Cloughaneely have once again got the hand in at the right time. It was Conor Coyle who got that ball back, and well, it's going to be a free for Dungloe because the boot went on as well from Coyle, so it's going to be a free for that man Dylan Sweeney. Out on the 45, it's Danny Rogers' territory, and interesting enough, John Fitzgerald's having a wee chat with Danny as he steps up to make that particular free. And well, in the Division 2 promotion playoff, Termon 2-10, Glenfin 2-9, so it's Termon to go to Division 1 next year, Brendan. And suppose disappointing for Termon last weekend, as we'll come back to that in a minute. There's going to be an opportunity here for Danny Rogers. He's 45 yards out to the right a little bit. There's no breeze here in O'Donnell Park. He kicks this one out to the right and wide. It's gone wide, and an opportunity gone a begging for Danny there.
Yeah, it was difficult enough chance. Listen, you're on the right hand side here. The way he's striking the ball on the top of the foot, Park, he hits it very much with the top. It's more suits a central kind of strike, so he has to judge that perfectly, and he just caught it narrowly to the right. He was unlucky with that one. Listen, he was still about 46, 47 metres out there.
Yeah, well, it's Dungloe who are trying to get possession back. Cloughaneely are just about to get it, and well, it's Cloughaneely dominating possession at the minute as well. 6 points to 1, but they've just given the ball away. It's Gerald Walsh is in there. This is better from Dungloe, and Dylan Sweeney, he has got it, but he's got to deal with Harley, but Sweeney still has it, crossing the 45. Might think about taking on the shot, but there's a number of Cloughaneely men around him. He goes back to Gerald Walsh, and that's good from big Jason McGee. Really battling to get possession there. It's going to be a full for Jason, and it looks like it's going to be Dara Gala who's going to go in the book. But yeah, Termon going up to Division 1, defeating Glenfin by a point. I suppose were put down last week, Brendan, in the Donegal Senior Championship. So
yeah, it's a strange one, Mike. Obviously, you want to go on, you want to play senior, right? I'm looking at sometimes in these group stages. Some of the teams there, they might win a game and then they're in their relegation. If you look at Dungloe here, particularly last week, the buzz was from the town and from the crowd here. Won an intermediate and build with the young team and come back up. So listen, on the back of them young players, that'll do them the world of good playing Division 1 next year.
Here comes Cloughaneely once again. It's Blake McGowan has an opportunity here. It looks really high. It's gone out to the right. Has gone wide. The umpires are looking at each other. Seamus McGowan. It looked like it was going wide, and
that was a bit of confusion. The umpire was on the goal side actually at one stage. It was going to reach for his flag. I don't think the two guys got a bit lost there. They weren't sure at all now. Like hopefully it doesn't come to a point game because they weren't sure there.
Yeah, it had a lot of air on it, Brendan. I think that's the way to put it. But anyway, it doesn't stand. It's another wide for Cloughaneely, and suppose that they've been really, suppose when we look at it last week, Brendan, they had a number of wides, and this week they've only had 3, so that's a lot better from Cloughaneely, and it's a sideline ball for Dungloe.
It's been a complete flip on last week's game. Last week Dungloe absolutely bossed the game and looked like a senior team against an intermediate team. This week is flipped on its head completely, and that's the thing as we keep saying about replays. How do you assess what you've done? You often see if the team played poorly, have so much more to gain going into a replay if you get away with a draw. That said, obviously Cloughaneely were 3 points up with 4 minutes to go and really threw away the game. So both teams had a lot to look at last week and a lot to prepare for. But you'd have to say that it's Cloughaneely that have come here all guns blazing, and as I say, 6-1 on the back of last week's game. Mark, you'd never have seen this in this first half. Cloughaneely have full value for it. Dungloe haven't been able to get any platform at all. They're tackling tenaciously. When they get the ball, they're moving well. They're sweeping in around the gaps, and when they get it, they're breaking with pace. They're doing everything right you're going to see in a championship team.
Yeah, and Cloughaneely intercepted that particular opportunity. It was a long ball over the top, looking for Donald Sweeney. Didn't work out, and now it's Cloughaneely once again who have possession. They have it through Aidan Doohan. Doohan away on the far right hand side has got Jared Walsh, or I should say Oisin Boner, for company, and has won himself a free. So it's going to be a free in for Cloughaneely way out on the right hand side, and it looks like Jason McGee's over that one as well.
Yeah, this will test him now. It's a right foot, it's right over that right hand side, so this will take a very sweet strike now. I think he might be leaving it to the left peg there of Conor Coyle. And there's another, this is Dungloe assistant manager come on there. Somebody's knocked him over. That's what you hear the crowd shouting there. But yeah, I think this is going to be left to the left foot of Conor Coyle, so there's a little bit of nonsense going on out in the picture.
It reminds me of Donegal and Armagh as well, but I didn't see that.
Seamus McGowan's looking at this.
Yeah,
he's a no-nonsense guy. He doesn't want to know. You've seen it from that first instance. There's nothing in it. Play on, lads. Cut the nonsense.
Cut the nonsense out and get on with it. Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. It looks like is it Blake McGarvey's over there going to hit this one way out in the far right-hand side. Just trying to make it. No, it's not Blake McGarvey at the minute.
It's Conor Coyle, is it? No.
Looks. Yeah, you could be right, Brendan. Is it Conor Coyle? Just can't quite see from this distance away. He's away out in the far right hand side. This will be a big score, Brendan, if this one goes over. It's 6 points for Cloughaneely, a point for Dungloe. Here he comes, kicks this one from way out in the right. It's hanging in the air, doesn't have the accuracy. It's gone out to the left and wide, and maybe he should have went a wee bit short. 26 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, McGee did show inside for it. Now here's the thing, McGee's obviously the man. He was thinking about taking that right, but it was a very difficult kick for a right foot. At the same time, the way Coyle kicked that, maybe he was better off. It was his first shot of goals, but I would say there was a bit of pressure on him because McGee looked at it. Will I take it? Will I not? He did show right in the 21 there, and maybe the short ball was on, but I think with a free taker, if you're going to hit it, you're going to hit it. Even, I remember in the old days, even if there was a great run on short, if you your mind made up, you usually were going to strike, and he ballooned it up to the far side, and it's a kick out to Dungloe.
Yeah, it looks like Daniel Ward has come on at number 12, and just seeing who's coming out. for Dungloe. Today's game brought to you in association with Boyce's Centre, the Donegal Intermediate Championship final replay. It's 6 points for Cloughaneely. It's 1 point for Dungloe, and Dungloe can't really find the form they had last weekend, and the ball has been kicked out by Rogers, been mopped up there by Mark Harley for Cloughaneely, and back it goes inside to Kieran McFadden, who's done a couple of long busting runs in the first opening half. Long ball over the top, looking for Blake McGarvey. He's out in front on this occasion, but it's well dealt with the Dungloe defenders, but it's going to go out for a 45. And the thing about Cloughaneely this weekend as well, Brendan, they're putting the ball into Blake McGarvey, good, bad or indifferent, and he's causing a couple of difficulties for the defenders of Dungloe to think about.
Yeah, in fairness, it was good tackling there. It was Jack Gaelic came out, got the foot in, and the ball's going out for 45. But yeah, listen, everything Cloughaneely are doing right now, Dungloe can't get to the pace of the game. They're doing it so well, and you know a big sign, like if you take a man off in the first half, Oisín Bonar, if you take him off, you know you're struggling, and that's what Dungloe are at the minute.
Well, Oisín is of course the talisman for Dungloe, and that's disappointing for Oisín. But anyway, here comes Jason McGee trying to get onto that right boot. He slips on the ground, it's hanging in the air, and that one goes over the bar. A great score.
We're talking about talisman. Here's the talisman of this game, and the talisman of Cloughaneely. McGee is head and shoulders. He is carrying this fight. If Cloughaneely finally get across this line, then he should be carried head and shoulders out of this ground with that cup with him, because he has been absolutely phenomenal. As good as a first half performance, as good a half performance as I've seen in this year's championship at any level. McGee coming through 3 or 4 tackles there at the age of the 21. He was off balance, he was hitting the ground, he swung the right boot at it and curled the ball over the bar. And listen, we're looking at 7-1 here, and you can see the panic down the Dungloe bench here and the management. They have no options, and again sweeping up there. Lee O'Brien has been phenomenal at the back. They're mopping up everything, and then they're comfortable on the ball, and they're breaking with pace. And at this stage, I would say the Dungloe management want to see the half-time whistle to see how we can fix what's going on here.
Yeah, and they just haven't got to the pace of the game in this particular. But you have to compliment Cloughaneely. They've really, Brendan, as you've indicated, they've dominated this particular passage of play. The first opening 29 minutes or so, it's 7 points to 1. As we look back on the first half, it is of course the Jason McGee show. He has accounted for 5 points for Cloughaneely, 3 of those coming from frees, 2 of them coming from play. Blake McGarvey getting in the act as well. And Dungloe, if you look back on the 7th minute, they got their first score from a free. It was Danny Rogers who kicked that as well. So yeah, it's all Cloughaneely at the minute, and well, when you look out there, suppose you would wonder where the performance is going to come from Dungloe. But on the other way of looking at it, Brendan, last week it was the same for Cloughaneely. It was all Dungloe.
Yeah, big leads can be a danger, I suppose. If Dungloe find the mojo and get their groove on, they'll soon cut into this lead. So that's the only thing that's keeping them going now. It's still the first half. They have played none yet. Can they get back into this game? A
crossfield ball there for Dara Gallagher, and just was over ambitious. And just the hunger and desire from McGee was brilliant bit of work for McGee, and he's really up for this one. And Mike,
Connor's caught McGee.
Ryan O'Connor's in difficulty here.
Yeah, he miscontrolled the ball. Connor's hit him with the shoulder, and in fairness to McGee, he initially continued on.
Yeah.
As soon as we're going to go blue for the free, he's gone down now. If he had him down straight away, Connor could see a red. Now it'd be interesting to see. He's lucky now to get a yellow. In fairness to McGee, if he had him down straight away, that could have been more trouble for him. He stayed up, in fairness to him, and tried to play on, because Connors did go to shoulder but caught him front on. He's getting a bit of treatment now, so hopefully he can get back in the game. So a yellow card for Connors.
Yeah, it's going to be a free for McGee, and just showed that wee bit of class as well, Brent, flicking the ball over the player's head and continuing on the run, and that's what you want to see.
Yeah, he kind of passed the ball to himself initially. Like, I don't know if that's just allowed, but he fisted the ball out because he knew those two Dungloe men, and they had him boxed down in the line. They would have put him over. He ran on, and say Connors, who's quite a lump of a man, he caught him with the shoulder, which was frontal on. So listen, in fairness, I think if McGee had him down with the first challenge, it could have possibly been a red. So he's lucky to get the yellow there.
Well, the boot has gone in from Michael Fitzgerald, and it's going to be a free. I think it was a free was given from Aidan Doohan's tackle. A free for Dungloe, and well, it's almost half time. Danny Rogers is jogging up for this one, and well, it's well out, Brendan, for Rogers, and Jason McGee is clapping his defenders because they're tirelessly going after possession today, and that's what you want in finals, Brendan.
Yeah, real buzz. I mean, you think about last week, the lack of scores and the ability to chalk up scores on the board. Not only have they rated that, 7 brilliant points, McGee has been unbelievable, but only conceding a score. I mean, if you had told me going into today's game, it's a bit like last week, how the game flip-flopped and the stats of it. If you said to me today, we're on to nearly half-time, Dungloe 1 score on the board, not a chance. So, phenomenal stuff by Cloughaneely all over the pitch as a team. They have completely stepped up. You wouldn't know them from last week's team at all. You know, they must have thought we got out of jail in one ways, maybe could have won it, but they've certainly come in here a completely different side today.
Yeah, Danny Rogers is over this one. He's a good 55 yards out, maybe a little bit further, and a little bit of treatment as well for Dara Gala. You're listening to Highland Radio Saturday Sport, and of course watching association with Boyce's Centra, the Donegal Intermediate Football final replay here at O'Donnell Park. It is, of course, the men from the Northwest is dominating this one. It's 7 points for Cloughaneely, a point for Dungloe. Here comes Danny Rogers. He has kicked one already, but it's a big distance out. Coming in on the right boot. No real breeze here today in O'Donnell Park. He's got the height. Has he got the accuracy? It's hanging in there. That is a brilliant score by Danny Rogers, and they really, really needed that before half-time.
Yeah, listen, if you're going to cling on to something at half-time, that is an unbelievable score. He must have been all of 60 metres out. This time over that left-hand side, he caught it absolutely sweetly. Small things going into half-time. Listen, Dungloe are backs to the wall here. They're down to their last. They've only got a point the whole game. That's a massive score going on at half-time. They can only get better in the second half. You know, you see the buzz here at Cloughaneely. They're arming up. They're here to win this match today, and as yet, there's only going to be one winner. Dungloe, their management team have a massive job here at half-time to right the wrongs of what's going on. This is where Desi Gallagher and his boys are in the bus. They're going to sort out what's happening right here, because Cloughaneely are coming back. They're here to win this match, and as a start, they're going to do that. So as you seen last week, right, the game could flip at any time. You put a goal into this, and they're right back in the game. I suppose that's what Fogara will be looking to manage in this second half. Keep doing what they're doing.
Funny, Brendan, we should say, okay, last week's game at half-time was 7 points to 2. This weekend's game is 7 points to 2. So, you know, you can't write off any team at this stage.
It's great the game. I suppose that's why we love football. Anything can happen on any given day, and teams can come back from the dead. And as I say, from 7 points down last week, Cloughaneely ended up 3 points up, and I can't believe what's happening here. To say the stand was absolutely hopping, and just looking as I say around the grounds that we watch games at now, as much as McCool Park, obviously a county ground, and obviously Father Chinley's been redeveloped. There's something about the stand here that everybody's all in, nobody is anywhere else, and it does create a bit of a unique atmosphere because it just holds the crowd that's right for a lot of these championship games. As I say, the crowd are going to play their part. Last week there was a huge buzz of the Cloughaneely crowd coming back, and then when Dungloe responded, you can really feel it surge through the players. And I think this Dungloe crowd actually have a big job to try and lift these lads now in the second half. The main thing, a bit like last week, and a bit like the senior final as well, you've got to see the start of the second half. If Cloughaneely come out and hit them first couple of scores, they're going to win this game. That's going to set the tempo, and that's what Dungloe will be saying. We got to get them first 1-2 points, get the crowd going, and start to eat into that lead. That's the big asking point. So I think this first 10 minutes of the second half will set the tone for who's going to win this game. If it's Cloughaneely hits the first couple of scores, I think they'll definitely win this match. It's up to Dungloe to get back and claw into that 5-point lead.
Yeah, it's half time here in O'Donnell Park, and well, it is of course Cloughaneely who will be the happier going in at half time this weekend. That is, of course, it's 7 points for Cloughaneely, it's 2 points for Dungloe. It's all to play here in the second half. We'll be back very shortly indeed with second half coverage, but in the meantime, let's head over to Kieran O'Donnell for half time reaction from both camps.
I'm joined by Paddy McGowan, Secretary of Dungloe. Paddy, we stood here a week ago and you were 5 points to good. You were 5 points in arrears at half time today.
Yes, it's worrying from a Dungloe point of view, even at this stage. Cloughaneely have been totally dominant there in that half, Kieran, like, you know.
At half time, Dungloe looked very much in control last week. It was a sort of crazy second half, as was described. Cloughaneely, 3 goals to lead by 3, and Dungloe showed great character to come back. So what was the feeling going back over Dungloe last week after the drawn game?
Like last week, listen, you had it won, you had it lost, and to come back and get the level it, I thought they showed great character. That maybe years gone by, the heads would have bowed and show would have been over here, but as I said, it's worrying now at this stage. We haven't got to the levels at all that we were at last week in the first half, and 2 points from frees from Danny there. None of our forwards have scored at all, or even had a chance to get a shot on goals there. So it's very, very worrying from a Dungloe point of view. I'm sure there'll be a lot of soul searching in the dressing room there at half time. There
was a change made just before half time with Danny Sharkey getting on. We were hoping that'll make a difference.
But Daniel has been struggling there with injury, all year, and come here, listen, he's in there now. Dasheen's out, so it's a big call by Desi there, so we'll see now what Daniel can do in the second half, but hopefully come here, they can lift it, and we can get to near the level we were at last week and make a game of it, anyway, because next 5-10 minutes is important, and the game could be gone, very, very quick on us,
Paddy, thanks for joining us. John Joe, we spoke 7 days ago. You were 5 in arrears. It's just the total opposite from the situation at half time 7 days ago.
It is, yeah, but I mean, in fairness to the lads last week, they came back. I know there was a question penalty at the first one, but then they came back, they went ahead, but today they're out there actually playing football. There's a few changes. McGee's made a big difference there. He's electric, he gets the ball, he's powering in. I can't understand the sweeper system that Dungloe are using at the moment, because Lee is having a great game back sweeping for us, and it's been driven down his throat, and Cloughaneely are using the space that's available to them. John Fitz as well is motoring very well. Young Blake McGarvey has shown his pace today that he has, and we're able to utilise the spaces that we weren't able to do the last day, and Jason is on his game today, so they're controlling the game. I'm still concerned about the kickouts, the short kickouts can be very dodgy, and I would like to see the ball going out longer, maybe, just to use our ball in transition then to get the ball into the forward line. But at the moment, the lads their character was questioned at home the last day going home, and they're showing up today, we're very proud of them at the moment, But I would still be weary of Dungloe. They're a good side. I just think that they'll have to push up in the second half, maybe, on Cloughaneely, and Cloughaneely have to then address that problem, I'd say.
John, so you weren't overly concerned at half-time last week, despite the fact that you trailed by 5?
No, I wasn't, because they're a good side, and they're young, and they're eager, and I knew that they'll come back into it again, and there's nothing between these two teams, and I wouldn't be surprised in the second half if Dungloe actually start running at Cloughaneely and maybe putting the ball in a bit quicker, And Cloughaneely, the other side of the coin is that I would like to see them putting the ball in from further out, allowing the pacey corner forwards they have, allowing Fitzy to get on the ball, McGarvey getting on the ball, and utilising the space that's there and then working it in, But I would still be concerned about the kick-out strategy. Can be dodgy at times, But at the moment, they're dictating the game. Jason is playing very well. Lee is playing very well at the back. He's putting out a lot of fires there early on, and he's good carrying the ball forward, Darren McGee is showing up well today as well. So, albeit, I still think that it's still in the melting pot, and I would like to see, Cloughaneely just keep going the way they are. But yourself, things can change in the second half. There's very little between the two teams, really.
John, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, John.
Here, amidst the leafy splendour of suburbia, we're on the trail of an amazing example of natural evolution. Ecodanium heatus pumpi, commonly known as the Ecodan heat pump. There's one now. Perfectly adapted to Irish conditions, it cleverly converts renewable energy from the air to heat both home and water, while emitting up to 50% less carbon compared to fossil-fueled heating systems. So homeowners are happy, and so too is our planet.
Hey, you get out of my garden!
Homo sapien auratus. Best be going.
The Ecodan heat pump from Mitsubishi Electric, the natural evolution of home heating.
And you're very welcome back to O'Donnell Park here for the second half of this Michael Murphy Intermediate Championship final replay. Of course, Cloughaneely taking on Dungloe at half time. It was, of course, Cloughaneely who went in 5 points up this weekend against Dungloe. 7 points to 2 was the half time scoreline. And well, of course, it's been all Cloughaneely in the first opening half or so, but Dungloe might have something to say about that. There's a long way to go in this final replay, of course. And here comes Ryan Connors. He has possession for Dungloe. Great interception there by Blake McGarvey. McGarvey got possession back, give it outside that Mark Harley. Harley has it now, gives it in to the unrunning. It is, of course, Aidan Doohan. Back it goes to Jason McGee. McGee has kicked 5 points already in this encounter. Way out in the far right hand side, just glides past the Jack Scally. Still has possession, kicks us. Well, he's trying to kick it over the bar, but it's just been kicked out to the left hand side. And suppose, Brendan, the big talking point at half time is how is Cloughaneely going to respond, but more importantly, how is Dungloe going to get up for this game? Because of course they haven't asked any questions in the first half.
Yeah, I just seen them coming out of the dressing room. I was down there and they come out with real purpose again.
Yeah, there is an opportunity here now for Blake McGarvey. He's just outside the edge of the D. Here comes a shot. It's been blocked down by Paul Sweeney. And, well, it's Jason McGee who's trying to get his hands on it, but it's out to the right and it's wide, and it's going to be a kick out for Danny Rogers. 7 points for Cloughaneely, 2 points for Dungloe. The kick out from Rogers. He goes way out to the far right hand side looking for Matthew Ward, and well, Matthew hasn't got into the game this weekend. He scored 2 points last weekend, just hasn't been able to get into it this weekend.
Yeah, and listen, you have to say that's down to Cloughaneely and their attitude all over the pitch. As a team, to a man, they've been absolutely on it today, and Dungloe probably come in the game thinking, listen, we need to play like we did last week. They haven't been let play, and they've been targeted all over the park, and the Cloughaneely lads have just stepped up to another gear. And they're quite lucky there. Jason McGee came inside in that first few minutes there. He was about 15 yards out. He should have planted the ball in the bar. He took a very strange shot. I don't know if he's going to pass it, but they're on the attack again. Yeah,
here comes McGee. The ball falls down to the right hand side. It's McGee. John Fitzgerald, I should say, thought about the shot, but good defending there from the Dungloe defender. And well, it's that man Jack Scally has possession, got it out quickly. The Dungloe crowd around us lift their voice a little bit. This is good by Gallagher, or Sweeney, I should say, but a good bit of play by Noel Sweeney. Had to be careful, he's only yellow too as well as Noel, but he's in there once again trying to get possession back, but it's that man Jared Walsh who's got it back for Dungloe, and Seamus McGonigal has spotted a foul, and it's going to be a free taken quickly. And this game is starting to lift up a little bit, Brendan. We need to get a score from Dungloe. They scored, you indicated it was a really, really important score from Danny Rogers. He was, I think it was 55 plus out there for the last score before the half-time whistle. We'll just stay with play here. Opportunity for McGee, gives it back inside. Now this is better from Dungloe. Daniel Ward just hand passed the ball out to the left-hand side to Jack Scally. Bit of a hospital pass indeed, but anyway, it goes back inside to McGee, swings the right boot. The ball is hanging in the air. It's just gone out to the right, and it's gone wide. The first wide for Dungloe in the second half here. And well, Brennan, as we were indicating there, I suppose it's actually better from Dungloe in the second half so far.
There's definitely an intensity from them. It wasn't there, and obviously at half time, you know, the riot act was read. They know they haven't done themselves any justice at all as a team there. Listen, McGee coming on there, he's on to kick a point. He had a go at that there, it curled to the right hand side and wide, but they got to come with purpose, and you see they're tackling on 2s and 3s. They weren't doing that in the first half, so they're at least going to match Cloughaneely in that stat in the second half. But whether they can claw back this lead or not is another thing, because they're not really creating the chances. So I think if you look at last week, it was 7-2 to Dungloe at half time. Last week it's 7-2 Cloughaneely now, but I think if anything now, Cloughaneely's going to be reminded of what happened there, so they'll be saying shut out the goals, keep the scoreboard ticking over, and we can extend this lead. So it's really up to Dungloe to ask the questions.
It's better from Dungloe. They've just given the ball away. Jack Scally straight into the chest of Sweeney, who has seen a lot of the ball in the first opening half. 4 minutes gone on the clock. It is the Donegal Intermediate final replay. The ball's been given away by Aidan Doohan. This game has really been brought to life. A long shoulder come in, and well, Sweeney dealt with it. It's going to be a line ball for Dungloe, is it? And well, needs to be careful there. He's a wee bit rash. Seamus McGonigal's having none of it. The spark has been lit That's Brendan Devaney.
Again, Mark, I knew this crowd was going to get into it because last week this stand was hopping. I think the Dungloe crowd were a bit subdued in that first half, and Cloughaneely had it so much their own way. But you really see them coming to fire now, and that's because Dungloe attacked them. The ball's been turned over on both sides, so both supporters are now engaging and getting up there. You see it relating now down the pitch there. But that was a wide sling there by Darragh Gallagher. He had the ball, he had the free. The Dungloe man, the Cloughaneely man wouldn't back off, so he kicked into him. Now I know Seamus we're going to go very much today, get up, play on. Now that was a kick. Listen, the ball was there, but he kicked the man, whether you like it or not. And I think Conor Coyle is getting up with a wee bit the worse for wear.
It was Sean McGee. He was just trying to get the ball out, and I think the player threw himself in front of it. It was Conor Coyle there. But anyway, it's really livened up here in O'Donnell Park for the second half. It's still 7 points to 2. Way out in the far left-hand side, it is Danny Rogers. Couple of foot in from the end line. If he puts this over the bar, Brendan, I do not know. This looks an absolute it's just hanging out to the left and wide. It just tailed off towards the end. It was hugely ambitious from Danny Rogers. I thought it was going over from where I was sitting. I was going, he can't have done that, but it just didn't materialise for him.
Yeah. Somebody's messed with the scoreboard. We're back to 0-0 here. The full crowd will be looking for that to be sorted as soon as possible. You're right. It was an ambitious kick. He didn't miss by much though, but really these small things are going to matter. They'll have to get on the scoreboard.
It's better from Desi Gallagher's side here in the first opening 6 minutes. In the second half here, it's going to be a free in. This is definitely Danny Rogers' territory, and 2 points for Dungloe, 7 points for Cloughaneely. It was exactly the same this time last weekend. Danny Rogers makes the big long jog up. He's got Blake McGarvey for a little bit of company, just to ensure that he's not having a talk to himself.
Listen, there's a wee bit of gamesmanship going on here from Cloughaneely, and normally I don't have a wild lot of time for that, but after the couple of seasons they had, there must be some desperations here, so I can understand them pulling out all the stops to try and prevent any points going for the bar for Dungloe.
A couple of steps back from Rogers, glides this one high. That's a beauty from Danny Rogers. He has kicked all of Dungloe's scores here in this intermediate final. 6 minutes on the clock in the second half. It's 3 points for Dungloe. It's 7 points for Cloughaneely. It's all to play for here in the O'Donnell Park. There's a change coming in for Dungloe as well. It's number 19, Aaron Ward.
Yeah, Dungloe really unloading the bench. They realise they've got to get legs in there and change it up a wee bit. So the management are saying here, they've got 3 subs on now. Really looking to say here, we need to ask some more questions. Lads haven't been doing it on the pitch, but it's been a promising start. We said at half time the first couple of scores of the second half are vital. If they go to Cloughaneely, it's a huge mountain to climb. As it stands, the first point, which is vital for Dungloe, is pulled them back to 4 on it.
Good bit of football there by Cloughaneely, just moving the ball at pace, and that man McGee, Kieran McGee, well, he's been selected to start today, and he's been fantastic so far. Here it goes back to McGeever. Kicked the point in the first game, trying to get onto that left boot. Here comes McGeever outside the edge of the D. That one hits the post, and out it comes, and should have put that over the bar, Brennan.
Yeah, McGeever, listen, brilliant run by Jason McGee. He's just operating at a different level there. He picked the ball up 50 yards. He glided through 2 Dungloe players as if they weren't there. He gave it off to McGeever. Now, poor tackling from Dungloe. I think it was Darren Kern came across there. You seen that he wanted to get on to his left. He didn't. His shot was on his right at the edge of the D. Listen, Darren had to stay big there, put his hands out. He let him inside him, which should have been a straightforward kick because he was about 20 yards out when he kicked it. Yeah. Came off the post. And that's a scare, but that's a big moment, because.
But you need, sorry, Brendan, but obviously in finals, you've played in a lot of them, Brendan. When you have situations and opportunities like that, you need to really take them. Now, to push that lead on out further.
Yes, indeed. And listen, it was a straightforward chance. There are small things that Dungloe are clinging on to. They need them to go right for them to get back in this game.
The ball comes out. Blake McGarvey's got it. It's back inside to Harley, the captain for Cloughaneely. And as you can hear, he's put that one high and he's put it over the bar, way out on the left-hand side. It was a good score by Harley. You need to take those chances, and Mark took that one as well. And sorry, Bren, it was cutting across you there.
You're good.
In that particular occasion, but just to make that point that suppose when Cloughaneely have those opportunities, they have to really take them if they're going to push on here.
See when Harley got that ball, very different from from Darren McGeever. Listen, he didn't look confident striking the ball, even though it was a straightforward point. When Harley got that ball, you really felt a bit of captaincy from him. He was like, here, I'm taking charge of this. He was 30 yards out, left hand side. Dungloe had got sucked into the possession of the ball. He was free going across the area, and he's got a sweet left peg in him, curled that over the bar to put them 8-3 up. And it's really, Buckera still playing like they did in the first half. Dungloe have stepped it up, but it looks like now they're going to match them toe for toe. So it's a big ask work. Even at this early stage, you would imagine Dungloe are going to need a goal to get properly back in this game.
Well, they have got possession, and well, the ball has been kicked way back here to the centre back, Conor O'Donnell, and well, just took his eye off it for a second. As you can hear from around the ground here, the crowd are reminding him of that. The ball out to the left hand side is Danny Curran, and they need to get Danny on the ball, and Barry Curran as well. Just give a ball, and it just didn't work out there, but in goes McGee, tries to get possession back, and the fist passing into the chest is just not as sharp as it would need to be, because it gave Sean McGee a lot to do there. He's done really well, and he shifted a Harley shoulder by Aidan Doohan, and well, Aidan was just, he was more, I think Aidan got in his way really, and he's feeling the aftermath of that challenge. But Seamus McGonagall's going over to no doubt give him a yellow card for that challenge.
Yeah, it was a nothing tackle. I think it was Doohan came across there. He shouldered the ball a bit high, and he came across him. I think he more collided with his hands. It was one of the ones where the player knew he was just going to give a foul away. It'll probably be a routine yellow. But both lads received treatment, but I don't imagine there's much wrong with either.
Yeah, Danny Rogers come up for this one as well. And it's way out on the left-hand side, Brendan, just a couple of foot in from the sideline. It's John Fitzgerald he's adamant that he wants to walk alongside Danny, and it looks like Jason McBride is trying to tell him just you don't need to.
Yeah. The officials aren't happy with this bit of gamesmanship against Danny Rogers. You know, he has the big walk up to hit these free spike, and of course the Falkirk lads are saying we're going to put you under a bit of pressure when you're going up. A wee bit of mind games from them,
Yeah.
you know.
John Fitzgerald's really just I think acting the maggot would be the term I would use.
Yeah, and playing the innocent back.
Yeah, playing the innocent. But anyway, it is what it is. 3 points for Cloughaneely. It's 8 points here. Or 8 points for Cloughaneely, I should say. 3 points for Dungloe. It's an opportunity just a couple of foot in from the end line for Danny Rogers. 40 yards, it has to be said. This would be a big kick from the Dungloe man. He slipped as he kicked it, and as you can hear, it's gone out to the left and wide, and well, another wide for Dungloe, and it looks like it's 3 wides in the second half, and they need those opportunities, Brendan.
Yeah, listen, I say, Park, there's been no goal opportunity whatsoever for Dungloe. They're going to have to conjure up something. They don't really have a platform inside. Everything's coming from deep. It's all shots from deep. They don't seem to be able to get the ball inside. Runners coming off the shoulder, or if I have a target man inside, you know, they're all quite light in that regard. They need some kind of platform where somebody come through a tackle that's going to get an overload, because at the minute, Park, they're definitely going to need a goal, and they're not getting anywhere near the goals. Any chances they have is all frees from long range with Danny Rogers.
Here comes Cloughaneely, and it is Conor Coyle kicks this one high. It's hanging in the air. That is a score at any level you'd be happy with. Beautiful score by Conor Coyle, way out on the left hand side, and that extends the lead for Cloughaneely out to 9 points to 3 as we enter into the 11th minute. It is 13th minute, I should say, and well, Dungloe, it's all to play for, and once again there's another Dungloe man on the deck. It looks like it's Keelan Gallagher who's just come on for Aidan Doohan.
Yeah, score of the day there from Conor Coyle. Listen, when those go over the bar, you can't help but think this is going to be Cloughaneely's day. He did a jig of delight after. He knows that is a massive kick. He was right over on that right hand side, almost on the touchline. He had missed that free in the first half, but he caught that as sweet as he like. It took an age to curl over the bar. That's a massive point. The Dungloe crowd and the players, I think, sensed that. That was a massive score. It's extended them out to 9-3. They're completely in the driving seat. They're playing some brilliant football. Yeah,
Cloughaneely have possession once again through Jason McGee. He's rolled the tackle, and he's just building up a little bit of steam out to the left hand side. Sees the movement from Harley didn't give it, happy to contain possession, and McGee does a 1-2 with McGee now. He has possession back once again. Down to the right hand side is Kieran McFadden, and McGee's just happy to hold possession there. And sure, why not when you're 6 points up? But here comes McGee once again trying to move things on. He's been an energy bunny out there today in this intermediate final replay. It's Cloughaneely who have possession once again through Mark Harley. Scored a point here in the second half. The run from Michael Fitzgerald has it out to the left hand side as Cloughaneely play keep ball with Darren McGeever. McGeever goes back inside to Harley once again, and Dungloe are all back bar one of their players, Brennan.
Yeah, you get the sense already. Dungloe have to push up. Listen, Cloughaneely know that. This is the first time they've kept ball in the game. They're 9-3 up. They're in a perfect position to win the match, and they're saying, right, come you out and engage us, and we're going to open you up. It's smart play from Cloughaneely. I really like what they're doing in this game. They know they have to pull them out, and now they're going on attack when it suits them because they've got the lead and they can dictate the game.
Yeah, here comes Aidan McGee. He's rode 2 or 3 tackles. That's good by McGee. Gives it aside to Jordan McPherson. There's a man to the left and the right hand side. It's Blake McGarvey. McGarvey kicks that one under the legs of Danny Rogers. That was a fantastic bit of play. Selfish bit of play from John Fitzgerald. Saw the run from Blake McGarvey, and goal for Cloughaneely.
Just on the water break. What a time to do it. You know, that is the final nail in the Dungloe coffin, I think, in this game, because that was a phenomenal team goal. They kept ball in around their own 50-yard line as they say, listen, we're in control here, you've got to squeeze up. But once Dungloe squeezed up on them, they quick passed the ball right through the team, as you say. Brilliant offload from McGarvey, and listen, what a finish under the keeper's legs. Kept us cool. You know, that was a brilliant team goal there, right from one end of the pitch to the other, and you can see the buzz there. It's all with Cloughaneely and Dungloe now at the minute. Listen, this is a tough team talk now in the water break. You're what, 12 points to 3 down. You've played none in the game. Like, what do you do? Listen, you're going to have to go for goals. Dungloe's going to have to change tactics. It hasn't worked so far.
Coming back in that goal, Brendan, I have to mention the work by Kieran McGee from deep. He rode 3 or 4 tackles. He saw the little dink run from Fitzgerald to the left and to the right to lose the marker, give it inside. The run then came from Blake McGarvey. You know how important when you get possession, you've 3 men hanging out of you. You need someone to come. McGarvey came and put the ball through the legs, I should say, of Danny Rogers. If he went for height there at that occasion, it would have been a save.
Yeah, and that's what, as you said, it all comes back to really the initial break of McGee, and that's what we haven't seen from Dungloe. Cloughaneely kept the ball, but then when they moved it, you got to engage your man and get beyond them. Otherwise, it's a stalemate. So someone has to beat a man, or someone has to show a bit of pace coming off for a pass. And that time the Falkirk team worked it right up the pitch, all coming off pace. But you're right, it was McGee's initial break, taking 2 Dungloe men on, that got the overload started. And at the end, it was a straightforward finish and a massive point. Listen, it was Dungloe who needed the goal to make a game of this. It's Cloughaneely that have it, and listen, they're complete control now. Only conceding 3 points, you know. As I say, it's hard to get your head around how good Cloughaneely have been today. You know, they've completely upped their game. I would say out of 10 last week, they probably said as a team they might have had a 4 of a 5. They've gone to a 10 today, and Dungloe, who played really well last week, we've seen none of that Dungloe team today.
Well, I suppose we really snuffed out that running that Oisin Boner was doing. The ball coming in from Daniel Ward and Dylan Sweeney last week. They've dropped the man back. They've worked that defensive. Obviously during the week they've sat down and looked at that. Where was the threat coming from? How do we curtail that? And how do we push on? Now they're in command. They're in control. And this man's been astounding today. It's Jason McGee. He's been everywhere, controlling possession. Even for the goal, just had that little bit of cuteness, Brendan. Suppose playing at Division 1, that level as well, you really get exposed to that level of football. And it's just been shown out here today by Cloughaneely.
Yeah, he's playing a lot cooler this half because they're in such a lead now. He's dropped back in a wee bit deeper, but he was the man that set all this up in the first half. He gave Cloughaneely the platform to go and win this match from play and from frees and from his general play as well. He dictated so much of the game, but all over the place. I mean, Neil O'Brien's been phenomenal, a sweeper as well. And listen, Cloughaneely don't seem any sign of giving up. They're coming in attack again.
Here comes the shot from Conor Coyle. He's kicked one from there before, and as you were probably hearing from the crowd, they were just waiting to see where that ball went. I was a little unsure as well, but the umpire wasn't. He lifted the white flag. Another score for Cloughaneely, and well, their tails are up, Brendan.
Yeah, certainly. What a brilliant score. Conor, as you say, it wasn't as good as his one at 9-3, but I thought that score in particular, when you see them going over the bar and you see the lead that they have, you're like, right, this is our day. You know, last week I say 1 point from play. We've seen none of this from Cloughaneely. I would say Dungloe were maybe a bit stunned at the level that Cloughaneely have gone to today, but listen, it's absolutely phenomenal, and after 2 massive years of hurt, they are on the verge of finally landing this intermediate crown and getting back up to senior. Listen, a proud club with a huge tradition. This could be a massive day for them, and it's looking that way now, Park.
Definitely is, and Kieran McGee has come off to a massive cheer from the Cloughaneely crowd, and well, it's 1-10 for Cloughaneely, 3 points for Dungloe, and there's another change. Oisín Bonner, it looks like he's coming back in for Dungloe as well. Must have been carrying a little bit of an injury, Brendan.
I couldn't understand that now. He didn't seem too happy when he came off in the first half, and I thought that's your you were on about platforms inside or target men. Dungloe just have no platform. They haven't been able to get the ball inside at all. You know, everything about them today has been wrong. So the fact he's coming back on is a very strange one. Park, I don't know if that was tactical or, as you say, maybe he was carrying a knock. But really, no one in the Dungloe forward line has functioned at all today, and that's a bad wide now again from even Danny Rogers. Everything's going wrong.
Outside the edge of the D, you would have fancied him to stick it over the bar. Just went out to the left and wide, and the fourth wide for Dungloe. And look, when you look at possession stakes, you look who scored for Dungloe. It's Danny Rogers, the goalkeeper, so it says a lot, Brendan.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind, they didn't bother him that time coming up. They left him alone. There was no Cloughaneely man detailing him, so maybe they don't need to bother him. He put him wide in. That was a straightforward kick, and you know what, no more than those scores from Coyle going over the bar, you know it's your day when he comes up and misses that work. You know, Cloughaneely know, listen now, keep ball, don't concede any goals, and listen, Dungloe haven't got near the goals anyway, so they're going to be cute on the ball. You can see, unlike last week, when they were 3 points up with 4 minutes to go, they were very naive. They went for a couple of shots. They should have kept the ball and wound down the clock. They gave 2 terrible frees away to bring Dungloe within a point. Then Dungloe got the equaliser from play and could have got the winner, and they had a late chance of it well, but that's not happening today. You can see that they're ready to see out this game, and they're keeping ball now, and they're going to wind down the clock because they're in such a commanding lead.
Yeah, Sean Maguire looks like he's coming in for Cloughaneely. Huge servant for Cloughaneely.
That's great for Sean. Good to see him come on the pitch there, you know, as you said, Brian.
Yeah.
A couple of tough years for a lot of them guys, and that might be one of their last chances to get silverware, so good to see him on the pitch.
Yeah, Craig is he's known down in Cloughaneely. Out comes Paul Sweeney as well, and I suppose look the intensity from Cloughaneely today in the forward line as well, Brendan, really hassling and harrying, trying to get possession back. The kick comes for Killing Gallagher. Well, he just didn't get possession. It was Dungloe, the Dungloe man Aaron Ward, who got it back, and here comes Sean McGee. McGee outside of the right foot, and it's not your day. It's not your day, Brendan.
Yeah, well, he's lucky now. He made a hash of that kick, but Seamus McGowan pulled it back for a free, but it didn't actually interrupt his kick. He made a real hash to say, but way out to the left and wide, and he was lucky there. Now the ref blew the whistle, and it's going to be a free kick now. Does Rogers come up this time? It doesn't look like he is. And Oisín Bonner, I always think the closer in ones should be hit by a forward. You know, a keeper should be from distance, really. You know, surely you've got forwards on the pitch can plant these over the bar.
Here comes Bonner, and he kicks this one high, and it goes over the bar for Oisín Bonner's first score in this intermediate final replay. It's Dungloe 4 points. It is, of course, Cloughaneely a goal and 10 in this. Well, I suppose Desi Gallagher would be disappointed today, Brendan.
Right, certainly. As I say, coming into this game, you know, looking at it from last week, if anybody was watching it didn't know the teams or didn't know the history, we'd say, right, you know, Dungloe, much a better team, should have won it. Listen, that lightning won't strike twice. Again, you know, with that 3 goals in 6 minutes, kid thing, but for a completely different story. Never judge a team in its last performance, because whatever righting or wronging or whatever way Fulcara came in this game last week, they weren't on it as a team, and we all knew that, and everyone said it. You know, they'll never play as badly a game. I'll tell you what, they've played to their optimum today, and Dungloe have no answer.
Yeah, here comes Dungloe. They have an opportunity with Ward. He goes for power on this one, and well, it's gone out to the right and wide. It's another opportunity gone a begging. Yeah, another change on the Dungloe side, but Matthew Ward really, I suppose, just showing his frustration. Went for power there, Brendan. It went out to the right and wide. The kick out, and there's that man, Jason McGee, once again. Claiming possession, looks up, long ball over the top now, looking for Craig. Out comes Maguire, has got possession at the first time of asking. The ball goes out to the right now to Jason McGee. Thinks about the shot from there, Brandon Devaney. It's just hanging out to the left and wide, and well, it looked like it was going to sail in, but it's not to be on that particular occasion. Danny Rogers has the ball and the tee out very, very quickly. Out to the right he goes, and it's been collected there by Walsh. Long ball over the top now, looking for Daniel Ward, who has possession for Dungloe. And well, Cloughaneely back in numbers once again, hassling through a number of challenges is Barry Kern, and it's going to be a free in there once again for Dungloe. 24 minutes on the clock. It's all done but dusted, you could say. 1-10.
Yeah, well, we've seen a miracle last week, 3 goals in 6 minutes. We've got, what, 6 minutes odd to go. Can we see it again? Listen, we haven't seen it at all. Dungloe haven't got near the net. It's that last half chance. It's the first time they even, what would have been a half attempt at goal there. But just Jason McGee should have put that ball over the bar on the last attack. Complete rules wash of a player.
Here comes Dungloe. They have an opportunity from Boner, dances to the right, shows the dummy, trying to get onto that right boot. He does get onto that right boot, but he was getting nice attention from Kieran McFadden, and that ball has gone out to the right and wide, as you can hear by the crowd around us. Here once again, it's 1-10 for Cloughaneely, 4 points for Dungloe. 25 minutes on the clock, and it has to be said, Michael Lynch down there for Cloughaneely, I should say, has been there at the helm for a number of years, has felt the heartache. I used to play against Lynchy many years ago, and he was a tough competitor then, but just Brendan, suppose a word on Cloughaneely, the management, to come back from last week. There were a lot of questions of them, Brendan.
Huge. And listen, when they were down so far last week, you thought, listen, this is a terrible tale for them, 3 in a row. So they fought back, they rode their luck a bit, like, you know, in many ways they maybe could have won the game, but they've come in here with purpose. So maybe that weight, you know, as I say, like, come back there, I can remember that time going into that third final. The pressure that was on us was massive, because I thought you'll always be remembered as a team that lost 3 in a row. I mean, loads of teams are remembered for winning 3 in a row. You'll also be very much remembered for losing 3 in a row. So maybe that draw last week meant that was put to bed. They didn't lose, they're back in the final. This was a fresh take, and they've come at this game brilliantly.
Here comes Oisin Boner, kicks this one, has just fallen to the ground, and well, it fell short, I should say, and it's going to be mopped up there by the Cloughaneely defence, and well, they have it through their captain Harley, who's been really impressive again today. He's of course kicked 2 points in this intermediate final, and a bit of frustration there. The ball has been kicked away. 26 minutes on the clock, and well, it's definitely...
Harley's been brilliant, you know. John McNiff here always just asking man of the match for it. Listen, there's no doubt it's Jason McGee. He's been absolutely head and shoulders above everybody on the pitch. But that man Harley, taking McGee out of it, he's certainly next in command. He's really played a captain's role today. He's been brilliant, and he's epitomised everything about the team here. You know, his aggression and his ability and his confidence on the ball. Well, he's at a stormer as well.
That's indeed, and suppose when you look at it as well, you have to go to Kieran McGeady for work, and I suppose, you know, there was a couple other Cloughaneely men, but you're right, Jason McGee has been head and shoulders above everybody, like he is out in the pitch, standing out today, and really came up with 5 or 6 scores for Cloughaneely. The ball is away out in the far right hand side. It is Dylan Sweeney who has possession. He's got a little bit of company there from Noel Sweeney as well, but the opportunity is still there for Dungloe. They have it crossing the 21. Out the possession goes to Christy Green. Green looks like he's looking for Matthew Ward. Ward has it, a little bit of a run there from Conor O'Donnell, but he didn't give it. Now O'Donnell has it outside the edge of the D. Is that man Luke Neely, and it's going to be a free. And there's a little bit of afters here as well. Both sides getting to know each other. Cloughaneely maybe having a chat with the Dungloe men about their medal take this evening, but anyway, it's a little bit too late.
Cloughaneely know they can wind it down, give away a free. Listen, there's no way Dungloe has any chance with points here today. They're happy enough if this was put over the bar. It'll matter not to them. Dungloe need goals, and at the minute the whole Cloughaneely team is basically inside the 30 there. They have one man up the pitch, and that's it. Right? They know, listen, there's going to be a miracle here of goals. They're not going to concede any. That's the statement they're giving out.
Yeah, here comes the opportunity. And Daniel Ward kicks that one high, puts it over the bar, and 5 points to 110 is the score. And Cloughaneely, suppose when you look at the heartache they've had over the last number of years, you look the way Arua has moved on. We were talking about St Knowles before today's match, how much progression they made after winning last year's title. I suppose Cloughaneely moving on to the senior championship, we can talk about it now, Brendan.
Yeah, they've been knocking on the door. People are looking at Dungloe. They went down in the group sections. They played well. They beat most teams very well in that intermediate. People are saying, did they meet any of the big teams yet? They did in the semi-final. A very fancy Leave Columbus side who are going really well. So it looked like Dungloe were up and up. They were just going to bounce back. They're going to win this title. They came here last week to win it, and probably in their own mind on that, of course, that game should have won that game. But what we're seeing here today is a completely different Cloughaneely team, and I suppose there's a bit of a worry for Dungloe. They haven't been able to respond at all. Cloughaneely have completely bossed this. I mean, as much as Dungloe bossed last week, Cloughaneely were able to come back into the game and go from 7 down to 3 up. But today, all over the pitch, Cloughaneely have been on it, and maybe you talk about learning the lessons from the previous week. They're a completely different team, and Dungloe come back to play the same game. What happened was that Cloughaneely have upped it so much, and there's been no response from them. That's been a bit disappointing from Dungloe.
Yeah, here comes Mark Harley, has possession out in the far on the left hand side, I should say, of the pitch here in O'Donnell Park, has to be said, in fantastic condition as well, just going on the number of games as it's had over the last number of weeks. And there's going to be a hot ball here. It looks like it. It's Seamus McGonigal. He's just telling everyone to get away, and cam heads is required. One man who has the ball, he's not going to get too flexed about it, is Sean Maguire. He has he's pointing to some scenarios that's happening in and around the Cloughaneely full back line. But anyway, it suits Cloughaneely to do this, Brendan, to slow the game down. Wee
bit of WrestleMania going on out there, but how Seamus has reffed this game today, it's kind of, he doesn't even care that, and like that in many ways, because most of it is nonsense. I think if a ref goes in there and starts to hand out cards or try to lay down the law, it often sorts itself out. It's usually nothing in it, as those couple of wee scuffles were there. He's not even paying any heed to them. He's just like, play on, let's get the game going again.
In the Division 2 promotion playoff, victory went to Tyrman today earlier on against Glenfin. Fancy Field side defeated Glenfin 210 to 2-9 there. They're into Division 1 next year, but it's all about Cloughaneely and Dungloe here in the intermediate final. It's currently 5 points for Dungloe, 110 for Cloughaneely. Sean Maguire's over the ball. There's a free for Cloughaneely, deep in their own half here currently, live on Highland Radio Saturday Sport. Today's game is brought to you in association with Boyce's Centra, and there'll be huge celebrations in Cloughaneely tonight. They've waited so long to get back up into senior football, and suppose it's been on the cards for a number of years, Brendan, but now they've just gone and done it, and that's a huge feat for them.
They've done it in some style. You think of finals, you'll take it by a point. You think any championship game by a point, but this has been some performance from defence out. They've been phenomenal. No goal chances, only 5 points on the board from a Dungloe team who was putting the ball over the bar regular last week, and Cloughaneely couldn't keep them out. So they completely shortened out their defence, and I know that there's been some great work in there, particularly from Leo O'Brien's sweeping. They've got numbers back, but really it comes down to everybody individually and their attitude towards the ball. They've hunted in packs, they've backed each other up, and they've just lifted the energy levels. And as I say, it's from last week's game, they've been a completely different team, and full value for this lead that they have.
Here comes another opportunity here for Cloughaneely. It should be a point. It looks like it is a point. It is a point. There's a hint of a goal on there, but just sealing the deal. It's the full back. It's Cian McFadden getting all the way up to the full forward line. Hunt of a goal on there, Brendan, but he did the smart thing, just tapped it over the bar.
Yeah, sensible thing. Porrick, you in your heyday would have put that in the back of the net, but McFadden there decided to take the easy option and just clip it over the bar. But I'd say, listen, Cloughaneely had complete control of this game. Dungloe have come, tried to get back in it. They haven't got near the goal whatsoever. They've had a few wayward shots and have chipped in with a couple of scores, but really Cloughaneely are on another level today.
Cloughaneely will be really, really happy. I suppose they won the intermediate reserve as well, Brendan, and now they're going to win the intermediate senior, the big one. They'll be absolutely delighted down there.
Yeah, powerful stuff. I mean, it's great because, you know, the whole town will be behind them, but, you know, the club's the club, and, you know, you'll have that 2 squads of players out with silverware. It'll make for a fantastic occasion in Falcara tonight, and a great dinner dance and that. So, listen, fair play to them. There's been a lot of hurt, and it's good now that it's time. There's the final whistle.
There goes the full-time whistle. It is, of course, Cloughaneely, who have eventually got over the line, their 3rd intermediate final, and it will result in a victory after a replay. The score is 111 to 5 points. An epic performance by Michael Lynch's side. They came to O'Donnell Park for the 2nd time of asking, and well, they were full value for the victory. The goal came from the unrunning. It was, of course, Blake McGarvey, who got that particular goal at a crucial time for Cloughaneely, and well, it was the goal. Maybe that wasn't the difference in that occasion. It's just like a game that they weren't going to lose, Brendan.
Yeah, icing on the cake, you're right. You know, what a team effort. And I think the goal epitomised what Cloughaneely were at today as a team. And listen, you're not going to win a championship final unless you operate as a team. It's not down to individuals, it's down to the collective, and that goal was a perfect response to what had happened last week, and it epitomised what Cloughaneely was at. Possession, they were cool in possession, they defended well, and then they broke at pace. Someone had to break the lines, and as a team they came right through. As you say, it was Blake McGarvey put that in the net. At that stage it was more the icing on the cake. That put it 1-9 to 3 points. The game was never in doubt before that, but that was the cushion that they need. They sat in, and listen, they managed the game brilliantly, and they say, still, you know, you say hats off to the management and the players, how they've come back this week and righted the wrongs of last week. A phenomenal performance. Thought of head scratching from Dungloe. You know, we didn't see any of them today. You know, we thought after half time there would be some kind of fight back. They did get possession, but Cloughaneely were very cute. They kept them at bay, kept them out around the 45. Couple of pot shots, couple of frees. They were never going to let them inside. So very polished performance. And listen, Cloughaneely play like that coming up to senior, they'll be a force to be reckoned with. So listen, that's for another day. For tonight, they deserve, after the last couple of years, they deserve the celebrations and to enjoy that. Thoroughly deserved. Brilliant performance from them.
Looking at, suppose, your half forward line as well. Conor Coyle kicked some massive scores in the second half, as well as Mark Harley, the captain, as well. Huge scores at crucial times throughout the game, Brendan.
Yeah, massive. Those couple of kicks from Coyle were top drawer. You know, when you think about it, that the goal as well from Blake, obviously, but it was the first half performance that set the tone. And that was all about McGee. You know, as I say, he's like a Rolls Royce of a footballer. He's just cruising around the pitch. He's on a different level to everybody out there, and I don't want to take anything away from the rest of the team, but listen, they all know it in the heart of Hatch. They have an absolute gem of a player there, and listen, from a Donegal perspective too, phenomenal. But it was brilliant to see that, because we need McGee at midfield. We need him playing at that level. He just stood out today and showed all his talent. You know, and I say, here he is coming up to get man of the match. Thoroughly deserved. A great lad as well on top of it.
Yeah, and that man, of course, we've got to mention is the banister of Cloughaneely. We mentioned him earlier on. Michael Lynch battled for years, hung in there, and I suppose there would have been a couple of questions around Cloughaneely during the week about the setup, maybe, Brendan. And suppose we did touch on it. He went back, did his homework himself and his management team, and came back out with a game plan that delivered.
Just about some games you can be flat. Look at last week's senior final. You know, they've gone completely flat. Units came and played well, no doubt in it, and probably played the best we'd seen this season, but they've gone completely flat. No one's seen that coming. So you look at last week, Cloughaneely were flat. They came here today and they were on it all over the pitch. They were absolutely top class, and it was Dungloe was flat. The difference was last week is there's a goal threat in Cloughaneely and there's a bit of game in them, and they were able to come back. Whereas this week Dungloe just had no punch up front. They weren't able to get in the round. They needed a couple of goals and they just weren't even able to get near the goals. So that's the difference between the two sides. So listen, Dungloe's first year back down the intermediate, we thought they'd come straight back up. Young team, they've got to go and rebuild. And listen, they've plenty of good players here prepared. Did themselves no justice today, but don't want to take anything away from Cloughaneely. They were absolutely first class.
I'd like to reiterate that the Dungloe team who came here last week was so close, and then it just didn't happen today. You're 100% smarter, you're not in the green food, you'll regroup, and I have no doubt at all that you will be back. Absolutely, you will be back. Keep your heads up, you're doing good work in Dungloe. The players from the Cloughaneely come out of straight into the semi-finals, and they had the pain and the sorrow of losing two in the last 2 years. And there were sorrowful days, and there were sad days going back home. But tonight we'll go back in glory, and tonight we'll go back as a country champion, and tonight we'll go back in a championship. What might not have gone right totally for you last week certainly was right today, when we brought a great air of discipline, a great air of good football and score taking to take this game comfortably today. Congratulations to you for doing that and winning the Intermediate Championship of 2021. You will be back here next Saturday representing the country in the Ulster Cup Championship, and I have no doubt that the opposition in County Kerry were here watching you today. But I'm sure they'll be going back with a lot of work to do if they want to take on the Supreme League next week. You want to play representing your county, but tonight you bring a cup home and pride and enjoy tonight and hopefully tomorrow. But enjoy yourselves. It's been a long, hard 3 years getting here, but you got here. And on behalf of the country board, I'd like to present today's trophy over to your captain, Harley. apparently. For 2 years we're standing here in PCC in one in the rain, getting battered, and you can down and watch this. And this is much for you as it is for us. So thank you everyone.
I'm joined by Jason McGee. Jason, congratulations on your man of the match. Mark Harley's just got presented with the cup. Sum up your feelings for me at the minute.
Just the feelings are, I can't even describe them. I just lost words just standing beside you there watching Mark and watching the lads at the cup. I was thinking, what am I going to say here? Just completely lost for words. The boys wanted it so much. And I think we were hurt after last week's game, after last week's performance. I think we kind of just put it this weekend, go out, we have nothing to lose, couldn't play any worse, give it our all, boys, and if it's not enough, we'll head out to gate again, but so thankfully today was enough.
A totally different game compared to last week's first game, Jason, wasn't it?
I think the breeze, there wasn't much of a breeze there, and the two teams could play a bit more football. And I suppose it's just in a day like that there at O'Donnell Park, there's no better day to win a championship.
5 points for yourself, I'm sure you're happy with that return?
I suppose happy with first half performance. I suppose I did kind of fall away in the second half, but after we started well, I knew to get out and get on the score sheet early and get myself settled down, and thankfully days I got there, we were hitting frees, and there might be another day none of them might go over. Thankfully today just everything went right for us. We worked hard and the cup's coming home.
Look, from a Donegal point of view this year it was disappointing, but I'm sure there's more than makes up for Donegal not progressing in Ulster this year.
I suppose there was hurt in myself and all the rest of Donegal lads, and going back to club, and I didn't play a whole lot of football, and I just, as soon as the county finished, this was my main aim, and just to top off a average year now, this is a brilliant feeling now.
Jason, congratulations, thanks for joining us.
Very much, thanks.
Jason. Thanks.
Mark, we're on live here. I'm joined by the Cloughaneely captain, Mark Harley. Mark, congratulations. Sum up your feelings for me.
Oh, thank you. I don't know, I'm lost for words. What a performance we put in there. It was unbelievable. We were like caged animals down there, and to be honest, we're probably very lucky to be here. We didn't perform last week at all, and we got very lucky. But we probably needed that bit of luck. Last two years in the final, we probably didn't get it, but. No, today I think we thoroughly deserved that victory out there today. Every ball we fought tooth and nail for, and I think we just deserved it. I just can't believe it. I am over the moon now.
Going back to the last two finals, losing to Arua last year and losing to St Knowles 2 years ago, it takes a big effort to come back for a third time, Mark.
It does, we're in touching distance in both them games, and we came out the wrong side of it. And last week, in the last 15 minutes, I thought, oh no, here we go again, another final defeat. But credit to the lads, they dug in and they really put the shoulder to the wheel, and I'm delighted. And that performance there was unbelievable,
Just come back to last week's game, you were 6 points down with 15 minutes to go. The goal got you back in the game. It was the total reverse today. You were 9-3 up and the goal killed the game effectively.
Yeah, that's as I said, we got very lucky last week, but we were probably missing that luck and before. And listen, at half time it was the same score as last week, and we knew we came back and got it level last week, and we didn't want that to happen again. We knew to stick tight and we had to use the ball, and I thought for long periods of time we kept it and over back, and then for that goal there down this side, it was an excellent move. We held on to it and we were patient, and and that's like we're playing up in Division 1, so we kind of maybe that stood to us, But no, the goal really killed the game, and we're just kind of saw it out from then on,
And how important is it to be back and playing senior football again next season?
Oh, listen, it's massive. We feel like we're good enough to be there, and we've been in Division 1 this last 4 years, and people have been on our back saying, why are we not up there? Why are we not up there? But I suppose league and championship are two different animals, and we've probably failed the last couple of times. But no, we're up there now, and the aim is to stay up there, and I think we can hold our own. If you look at what Ballyshannon done and St Knowles done, they got to 2 quarter-finals this year, so there's no reason why we can't go on and do the same this year or next year. Sorry.
And do you think playing Division 1 football was a big help in even going down the stretch today?
I think so, we had that bit of composure, but we always knew Dungloe were going to have a kick in them, and it's nearly harder in intermediate sometimes. You're the target all the time, and teams are looking at us as to try and get one up on us. But no, I think it stood to us, coming into the last 10-15 minutes, we kind of saw the game out. It wasn't very good for the eye to watch, but we saw it, we ground out the result, and that's what you have to do,
Mark Harley, thanks for joining us and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark.